How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another GTA Online Q&A. We're back with some more questions from you guys over on Twitter. And today, some of these mainly revolve around answering questions about that next DLC, which we're going to get into. But starting us off, we have Crypto Steve. Since Rockstar have changed their event weekdays, do you think DLC days will now release on Thursdays? So, yeah, I mean, if you guys are unaware, if you don't really follow too much, basically, they have switched the update days till Thursday now because Red Dead Online's days are now Tuesday. Not entirely sure why they decided to do this, but they did it. So now all the updates, all the event weeks are going to start on Thursday instead of Tuesday. And barring them switching it back, which I don't see them doing because they're kind of sticking with it in Red Dead Online, that means whenever the next DLC releases, it's going to release on a Thursday, which I think is kind of cool because, I mean, that gives you Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, like kind of the weekend to play the DLC instead of having to go through the entire week. But yeah, from now on, expect everything, all the news to kind of come out on Thursday. But Baker, is there proof of a Naval DLC this summer? Well, it's unfortunate. We don't have proof of any DLC. There have been absolutely zero leaks regarding the future of GTA Online and, what's going to be coming out, which is kind of unfortunate because, the last couple of years we've had leakers and all kind of people come out and give us information on what's coming, whether it was a big piece of information or just small little tidbits here and there. But now we have kind of nothing. So we really don't know. All we do know is what's in the game files, what was cut content, and, kind of looking at what Rockstar have done in the past. So the reason people are saying a Naval DLC is possible or might be coming this summer is because that is a DLC that they could easily make. There's a lot of content in the game that revolves around the sea, but there's no real purpose for that content. Like, they have the aircraft carrier, which they could add to the game. Yachts, which are kind of pointless, but they could do something really cool if there was some sort of sea DLC in the game. Obviously, they could add a similar set of missions like the gun running missions or the Smuggler's Run missions, but just have it more sea related. Then we have the Doomsday Heist with the submarine mission, the Bogdan problem, that whole thing, and how Bogdan was kind of like, look, if you ever need help, I'll help you out. Just hit me up. So people were wondering maybe he's going to be the contact for that Naval DLC. So that's what we have at the moment. It's just one of those things that makes sense, and that's why people think it's coming. Speaking of that CDLC, Caleb, do you think Rockstar will do anything with the submarine at the Merryweather HQ? Now, if we did get a Naval DLC and somehow Bogdan was involved and somehow Merryweather was involved, I don't know exactly how well they would clash together. Like, would that be something that would work? I don't know. But the Merryweather HQ down on the docks where that submarine is, that would be a pretty cool location to sort of, or one of a couple of cool locations to base the DLC around. I know it may conflict with certain other missions, and maybe that's why they would never do it. But it's a cool area, and I mean, yeah, you do have that submarine there, so they could tie in something with that. If they did add a submarine that we could purchase, that's basically like an MOC, but for the water. I mean, if you think about it, there's a couple of cool locations. There's a cave on the right-hand side of the map. That would be an awesome place for a base, but I don't know exactly how that would work. There's a couple of other cool places if you just sort of go around the map and just look on the where the water meets the land. There's a couple of interesting places, and I think the submarine at the Merryweather HQ is definitely one of them. But I guess the problem does lie, and this is what is the issue going forward with a lot of DLC ideas. They have these other missions and other DLCs taking place in locations that would work for these hypothetical DLCs. That's why for some of the most recent DLCs, they've had to add new buildings to the game. Like the bunkers, they had to add those to the game because, there's not many other places that they could add a bunker. Then we have Jesse. Do you think they'll ever add mansions? Also, what is your guess on the next DLC? When will it release? I don't think they'll ever add mansions. I wish they would, but it's just, we've been asking for mansions for like 5 years now, I doubt they're going to add them. I don't think Rockstar know what to do with mansions, and that's why we haven't received them. Think about it. The last like actual property that's not part of a business was those houses, the stilt houses, and no one liked those. Like not many people, I'll say, like those. So maybe that left a bad taste in Rockstar's mouth for properties that don't have to do with businesses, but they could tie mansions in with businesses. There could be a business room for like $5 million that ties all your businesses together or something like that. Like it could definitely work, but is Rockstar willing to do that? Do they think it's worth it? That's obviously another question. When do I think the next DLC will be? There's actually a lot of speculation, a lot of rumors going on that the next DLC will be within like 2 to 3 weeks. I believe this upcoming Thursday, Rockstar will announce the premium races for the Arena Wars, and that should be the final thing that they have to release for the last DLC. So on the 7th, if that comes out, that means on the 14th, there'll be an event week, but there won't be anything that they can talk about on the newswire. There won't be anything new, so to speak. So maybe on the 14th is when we get a trailer or some screenshots about the next DLC, and then the 21st is when we get it. That would put it in like about 2.5 weeks. And I think that's like the smart thing to do for Rockstar, because right now Red Dead Online's not working great for them. So I'm sure they want to pump out some GTA Online content, and they have a lot of hype for GTA Online at the moment. What was it? A week ago, they had Lester's glitch. So many people got back into GTA because of that glitch. So there's a lot of people out there with a lot of money that are waiting to see, what's coming next. And if Rockstar wait too long, all that interest is going to fade, and that's not something they want. So I think we're going to be seeing the next DLC sooner than expected. And of course, the speculation at the moment is that it is going to be an Arena Wars Part 2, and they're going to be introducing some of the cut content from the game, or from the first Arena Wars DLC that came out in December. But yeah, from a business perspective, it makes a lot of sense to release that next DLC sooner rather than later. Then we have Caleb Jordan again. What's the most likely non-Mark II DLC to come out next? That's an interesting question, because if you think about it, a lot of the DLCs that sound good would be a part 2 to one that already released. Like the Naval DLC, that's technically a part 2, maybe even a part 3 if you count Gun Running and Smuggler's Run as like 1 and 2. Then you would have Import and Export Part 2 with some more tuner cars, bringing back Bennies. That would be awesome. I guess like the most likely, the most wanted non-Mark II DLC is a Police DLC. But the problem with that, doesn't look like we're ever going to get a Police DLC, because Rockstar don't want us to be cops for some unknown reason. So that's, I wouldn't say, a likely non-Mark II DLC. I really couldn't tell you what the most likely non-Mark II DLC to come out next would be. I mean, if you guys have any thoughts, let me know in the comments section. But we're sort of getting to the point where they've released a lot of varying content. So at a certain point, like they're going to run out. And in that case, they're just going to build on what's already there. I mean, I guess I would say, and this may not count, but the most likely non-Mark II DLC would be a third set of heists that don't have to do with Doomsday Heist or the original heist. They're just a new set of heists with a new story. That's maybe technically not a non-Mark II DLC, but who knows, if that would happen. And then the final question, just an interesting question, because I've been thinking about this lately. From Dominic, do you think the next GTA will have a similar update or similar updates regularly like the current GTA? So I was thinking about this because I made that Red Dead Redemption or Red Dead Online video yesterday. If you guys haven't checked it out, I don't know, I just sort of ranted basically on why I think the game is a failure, and why Rockstar aren't maybe seeing the results they want to see. And I was saying, like, it's going to be interesting in GTA 6 if they do kind of what they're doing with Red Dead Online. And I would really, really hope that Rockstar see Red Dead Online is not doing well, and that's because there's a lack of content So I would hope that GTA Online 2, let's call it, will launch with way more content than Red Dead Online did, comparatively speaking. And what that means is maybe they might take a little bit longer to release that game, right? Because they want to make sure they have a ton of content so people don't complain. So there's actual stuff to do and not just run around. Granted, GTA by its nature does lend itself to more opportunities and definitely a lot of different types of content compared to Red Dead. But do I think it's going to have similar updates? I think they are going to continue with this whole event week thing. I think that's like something that they see as good, and all the drip feeding stuff. Like, I think that's something that they see as good. So I don't think that's really going to stop. But I do think they are going to continue a similar pattern to what they're doing now, where they release updates, maybe every couple of months, and then, like I said, drip feed them until the next update. So I think what we have now is kind of what's here to stay. But anyway, that is it with the Q&A. Thank you all for watching. Please drop the video a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe for more GTA Online content in the future. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one.